Alright, hello YouTube. Let's talk about the signals. I have many questions regarding them recently. I want to approach in a pragmatical way. So let's say you have a forest, you put down your station, and send a train on the way. Ignore the fact that I have these kind of trains. It doesn't really matter. Some wagons on it. And change it to wood. Like go there, and maybe this should be full load. Right? So if you have such a basic setups, you don't need signals. However, okay, so the train is on the way. This is a nice forest, and the wood is piling up here, and that's not something you really want. It takes a time to get there, get our money for it, right? And by the time it reaches back to the station, there is 150 tons of wood. Now this can carry a bit more, I give you that. However, you don't want that. You want that this wood is picked up non-stop. If we let this game run, it may be not here, but you see when the train is there, the rating is going up, and if not there, it's going down. So to avoid that, you want to double up your lines. And do this, and here do this, and you want to dedicate one lane to one way and the other lane to the other way. And also we can get more trains on it. However, if you see, this train is on the way, and this train doesn't want to come out because we don't have any signals on it. So we need to put some signals in this line in order to have more trains on it. And if you are in a later game and this forest producing more and more, the bigger the need you for upgrade this. So when in the railway construction menu, press S to access this. Place down one there, and you see they are coming out. Oh. You see, this wood is piling up here, and we need more and more signals to keep up with it. So first of all, we need one more train, because this is just piling up here. Second, we need more signals. So let's say you put down here a pair of signals. That's still not quite enough. You see the reserved path between the signals, so the more signals you place down, the smaller this reserved gap will be. and the more fluidly the trains can cover this distance. So now we can easily add more trains, and even if we up the production, they will keep up, right? So they are constantly loading up, and we have a good ratings, you see, and it doesn't really dips below 80%. And if we give this town a statue, it will be even better. So now it should be around 90%, yes. So this is the power of the signal. And also, if you, let's say, want to add this to the mix, because that's the point of it. This is the best reason to use signals, that you can add one or more lines together. Like so. We can put an X here. We can put down our signals. We can have a depot, and we can have some trains on it. So tell them to full load here and drop the cargo there. And this is not an upgraded for us, so it will not be as good as this one, but the point is to have more and more trains on the same line, because that's the more efficient usage of the tracks you have, especially if you have maintenance on. Looks like we need one more train here, because there is always a train has to be here to loading. What happened with this track? So now it is coming and joins into our line, and they are traveling together until this point where he travels back together with the others and exits there. So let's talk about how you do that. Okay, you have a nice long track. Hopefully it doesn't look like this, but more like that. And press S for the signals and put it down. If you click on it, you can change the orientation of the signals, and then you can drag them to build more and more, and the distance between each signal is indicated here. So you can change this number, but I strongly advise to use the number 2. If you want to do number 1, that looks ridiculously stupid and not really better than the 2. So if you have a network, so stop for a moment, and let's say, yeah, we want to make 4 or 5 even, right? Because we have 5 long trains, would make sense, right? I don't need it just yet. So let's see what's happening. Okay, so they can fairly well do their job. So now, what if this forest was up to the task and we need more trains? Yeah, mostly. Maybe a few more. Just to cope with the amount. 2000 is too much. Okay. So now, if we slow down, you see they are struggling to, yeah, they're stopping here because the signals are too far away from each other, right? And that's what makes them stop and wait, and that stopping effect can ripple backwards on your network all the way. So in order to avoid that, make it 2. That's the most optimal. If you let them run for a little bit, now they don't get too close to each other and they don't stop, which is quite perfect. So I hope that illustrates why we do things as they are. Okay, so now back to the business. How do we do that? Alright, so back to this little curve. So press S for signal, place down the orientation you want, and we talked about dragging them. Okay, we talked about the signal distance. So now let's talk about how to make a lot of signals in one go. Press Ctrl and hold it down, click on this signal, hold it down and drag a little bit and release everything, and it will signal up everything until the end of the tracks. If you want to build more after it, then this will not do anything. You have to come to the end of it and continue, but that's really just a small tip. So removing is the same thing. I do this, press R, and I can remove 1 or 2, or I can control drag it and remove everything. The direction you drag, the direction it will remove the signals. So let's make it a little better. You see, same example, control drag. It will stop here because this is a junction. So you can do that to extend it in every direction and then continue, or you can signal it as you like it, depending on the purpose of this track. Right, so remove all of this, and let's talk about the other options. So by default you only see these 2 signals, and that's perfectly fine. You see what I did here? I see many people doing this way, that he places that over there and then doing this, right? So that's not how you build it. You can have an extra piece of track here, that's perfectly fine, but you don't need signals when a station ends here. The only possible reason you need to do that is when the tracks are continuing that way. Let me show you a quick example. So if, let's say, there is a tunnel and that continues that way, then you need to have the X here and the normal signals there. But if the station is a go through and trains going this way, trains going that way each, and they can go through or return back, then you need this 2-way path signals at the front of the station, and make sure that this guy is facing towards the station, so not outside but toward the station. This is the only time you need these guys to be here. Otherwise, if that's not the case, then you don't need that. Okay, so you see me doing the remove tool. I press R and remove. Also you can remove en masse if you hold Control and Control drag to put them back on the place. Right, a few more things, that if you turn on the advanced settings, you have way more signals. So place down one, hold Control and click on it, and this will go through all of this. So in most cases it's much faster to reach the desired signal type than clicking up, clicking down, clicking up, rather than just put there, hold Control and reach whatever signals you. Also, if you misclicked, then you go here, go back. You know, that's not really efficient. You can just do that, drag them, press R to remove the wanted one. Speaking of removing, there is a settings. If you type in signals, you see here you can select, this is the default option, and you can change it to all signal types. And this is the most important settings: automatically remove signals during reconstruction. What does it mean? It means this. Okay, so let me show you quickly what I mean by that. Signal, just to turn this off, that's what's happening. And so this is a really handy feature. I couldn't work without that. And if you just need a connection, you make it regardless what's the signaling situation. Also, if you happen to have come across this, so let's remove signals, right? And trains are coming here, and that's the situation here. You have and it doesn't align with the signals. So what can you do? You can just press signal and drag over the junction, right? And then you can continue the signaling. And here you need to place a new signal, Control drag, and it will add it. So that's a neat trick that I use a lot. Okay, so what if that you say, hey, I don't like how they look, they are too big, they are too ugly, and I don't like them, that's why I'm not using it. So there is at least one solution for that. You place down this signal and you say, yeah, I don't like it, this is ugly. Okay, remove them. So you do want to have a path signal at the junctions, but other than that you can use these small fellows called block signals. Yeah, just hit a Control, click on this, so it will cycle through all of that, and this is the first that it comes back to, and then Control drag to place them down. Same here, and this is much more visually appealing for me. That's why I'm using this. But the path signals can do a lot more. But on a single straight line, it doesn't really matter what they can do. So all of this is one block between the two signals, and that's what we want to have here. So this is an alternative. for the big ugly path signals. I mean, I sure you can get away with one at a junction and the rest being block signals. Right. What else I wanted to talk about? I see many people, have a station and then signals there, signal there, and signals here, and maybe signals here, or who knows what they are doing. So let me tell you, this is less effective than that. And look how much bigger this is for burst effect. So this will just causing chaos and doesn't solve your throughput issues. These throughput issues probably lies somewhere else, and this doesn't really helps or give you solution. So I mean, you can maybe make them together, but in this case I would place one signal here and not anymore, because this is a path signal. It's the most useful when it's absolutely used out all the potential. So trains come here and we'll look for a path, and if you don't have any more signals between this signal and the station, then it can consider each available options here, right? So that's why you need exit signals, or not the exit signals at the exit, and that's the right word, because then it is sealed off here, and then this signal can consider every empty platform that is available and send the train there. Make the specific signal as close to the station as possible. That's pretty important. Like, so even something like this, just make this signal as close to the station as possible. So if you have any problems, then that's not here, that's somewhere else that you have to fix, which is showcased in many of my Fix Your Game series. Okay, I could talk a little bit about these signals, but as I'm used to say, as long as you can't explain me why do you need them, don't use them. Just that simple. These are used to build priorities, overflows, logic gates and whatnot. I don't think you really need that. And if you do, I can direct you to people who can better explain that than me. In case you're wondering, these are the pretty same things as these, each of its pair. It doesn't make a big difference. I just found them really ugly, and this is an absolutely useless tool. You see, this is a signal, and with that you can convert it to whatever, right? But you can do the same with the control and much faster. So the more hotkeys you use, the less overall time you spend on moving your mouse up and down from the screen. And yep, I think that's all we need to talk about. So thank you for watching, and hope you have a better understanding of the signaling now. Thanks for watching. Bye.